Alright, hey, what's going on YouTube? It's been a while since I posted one of these update videos. Last week was the 4-year anniversary of my thalamic stroke, and I had filmed a video, but I dropped my phone and broke it. Lost the video, so I guess here's just a little makeup assignment. I'm going to go a little bit different than the original format anyway, so I think that it's okay that I lost it, but here we go. So what I'd like to do is just like a recap of year by year on how things went down with the stroke. I think that the important thing is to look at this just in hindsight, to understand that a lot of these events did kind of help me out in my recovery. Whether I liked it, whether I appreciated it at the time, which I didn't, and just kind of reflect for myself and show that it can be done. So starting off in 2020, I had my stroke May 13th. Got out of the ICU, I think somewhere around the 19th or the 20th. All I know is that in the time between when I had it and when I got out, I believe the George Floyd riots were happening all over the country. So it was like waking up to just all this craziness going on in the country. I was kind of like checked out for most of it, just kind of thinking about whatever my own situation was. And I remember my first thoughts was that I wasn't gonna be able to be a good dad anymore for my kids, and I was gonna lose my job. So my focus right out of the gate was to try to just recover the best I could. First time I had to go to the bathroom in the ICU, push the little clicky button thing, and the nurse comes in. I'm like, hey, I have to go use the bathroom over there. And she's like, oh, just go pee. You have like a little thing on you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that, sorry. Of course my eyes are paralyzed. I had this goofy look. Hair was all disheveled and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use that bathroom right over there. And she's like, well, you can't. And I sit up in the chair and I'm like, I'm a federal agent. I can do anything I want. I don't think I actually said it. I probably just thought it. But swing my feet over the edge and I start disconnecting all the sensors and stuff. And the nurse doesn't even try to stop me. She just leans out the door and she's like, I need some help in here. And, I get stuff disconnected and have a little like IV tree thing. And I stand up and could not hold my weight. I started falling over, so my stroke was on the right side of my brain. Left side, very, very weak. And I try to stand up and I'm like all gimpy and about to fall over, and I'm holding onto this IV tree, and I think I'm holding onto the side of the bed or something. And there's like all these nurses around me trying to hold me and keep me from falling. And they're like, you can't walk. And I'm like, what did you do to me? And it's like, sir, you had a stroke. So made it to the bathroom, did my thing. It's something I think about every so often. And, get out. Actually, no. Every day after that, I would try to go for a walk around the ICU. It was right at the beginning stages of COVID, so they were very restrictive on what they would let me do. So it was only certain times for a certain amount of time. And I had this really prolific stagger because my left side of my body was messed up. So as I would walk, I would slowly turn to the left until I'd hit the wall. And because my eyes were de facto paralyzed, and at a minimum I'd have funky double vision because my eyes were pointing in two different directions. So made it really hard to navigate. I'd bump into the walls, and that kind of gave me a spatial awareness so that I would straighten out and I'd go again, and then 10 feet later I'd be hitting the wall again. So I knew I had a lot to learn. Get out of the ICU, go home, and it just sucked. I mean, I was very unhappy, very depressed. My home life was not great. And I know that in a lot of my videos I'm cheery and happy to go lucky, but that's just because I make it. It was not my setting. It still really isn't. But, got up in the morning, go for a walk, around the block at first, then a half a mile, then a mile, then 2 miles, and back to my 4 or 6 mile walk every day, depending on how I felt. And that kind of helped, I think, with the agility. I'm still not light on my feet, but it helped out quite a bit with just the movement and regaining a lot of the strength. I don't think my muscles atrophied or anything like that. I think it was just relearning how to use them. So that worked out quite a bit. Here I am 4 years later. I still have stroke fingers when I text sometimes, and that's a little annoying, but autocorrect fixes most of that. Or I just proofread. So I can type on the keyboard no problem. Sometimes I get into error cycles where it's I'll accidentally hit the same key and then backspace and hit the same key and then backspace, and that's a little frustrating, but I think just having an awareness of it, I just sneezed, awareness of it is a good thing, and realizing what you're working on and what you're dealing with is very important because it helps to avoid the frustration of it. Anyway, so July 2020, I get back to work, definitely not ready. I had just lost somebody who was really close to me and didn't have anybody I could talk to about it. Had a really tough time dealing with it, and I had to go back to work because I had run out of sick time. Not because I was ready. So first day, I go out for one of my morning walks, and in the middle of it, I just had this panic attack because I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I couldn't do it. I was super messed up. And I called one of my friends who does peer support stuff. And she came and she picked me up on the side of the road, and I was in her car just sobbing about how I wasn't ready to come back, how miserable I was at home, how everything in my life was so empty. I just kind of let it all out, how much I miss this person that I lost, and she kind of let me vent, and then that's pretty much all I needed, was to relieve the pressure. She's like, "Okay, are you fine?" I'm like, "Yeah." Get out, go back to my house, and go about my day. So where I used to work when I was down south was just horrible. I worked with some really, really bad people, and a lot of the contributing factors to my stroke was stress caused from the way I was treated at work. Not all of it, but a good amount. So immediately when I get back, it starts up again. My boss would use some of my peers to be his little henchmen and make my life difficult. He'd pull me into his office and yell at me, telling me I needed to hurry up, I needed to step up, and there's no protection. You complain about it, it's probably one of the worst things you can do. So I just kind of had to suck it up. I got thrown off of my shift, got sent to a different one, and basically just benched a desk for 3 or 4 months. No, longer than that. 6 months. Oh, wow. And didn't really do a whole lot. So January of 2022, no, January 2021, sorry, I was able to go back to full duty. Had heart surgery for my PFO. I got that closed, and was just, again, focusing on rehabilitating myself. The brain fog was starting to go away, so I felt a lot more in control and just a lot more capable of functioning as a person. I was desperately trying to transfer from down there to up here, and every chance I got would get blocked. My coworkers had effectively weaponized our disciplinary process against me, and I couldn't figure it out. And one night, one of the people I trained, so I was training leadership and manager and stuff like that. One of the managers I trained pulled me aside. He's like, I got to talk to you in private. Okay, what's going on? He's like, yesterday I got pulled into the boss's office. He said they're trying to get rid of you, and he wanted me to give them details on our conversations and anything that I could provide to make you look bad. He's like, holy crap, like, okay, and internal pressure shoots through the roof. So I go through my shift, end of the shift, next group comes in, one of those guys, hey, I got to talk to you. And I'm like, oh. Goes into this office, it's nice and quiet, tells me the exact same thing, and I am freaking out. So I'm like, all right, well, I know what I got to do. I just got to leave. So I was trying to leave. At one point, I was just going to quit, and I called one of my buddies out in San Diego, and I was telling him my plan. He's like, no, don't do that. Just transfer over to like a different component. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not going to start again from the bottom. I can't do that. And he's like, no, seriously, like, I know somebody who did it. I'll get you in touch with them and we'll figure it out. I was like, there's no way it's that easy. So, sure enough, I get in touch with this guy. He gives me the steps to do. And I was like, no way. So, I write up a resume, write up the letter, and I get the email ready. And like right before I leave for work one day, I type it up, get everything attached. Basically all that's left is to hit send. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to send this thing right now. I'm going to sleep on it. So go do my shift, go back home, go to sleep. Next day I wake up, come into the office. Immediately it starts back up. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, I'll be right back. Go to my desk, send, go back into the fire, do all the stuff that we need to do to get the shift started, and didn't really give it much thought. Get the shift started, go back to my desk. So it was like a half an hour later, within 15 minutes, this guy that I'd messaged, who is like the head of the entire region, like he's the head of pretty much Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota. He has no business responding to my email. And he replies, he's like, hello friend, you look like you're well qualified. I'd love to have you work here. My HR guy is going to get in touch with you. And I'm just like, what? And then 10 minutes later, hey sir, we'd like to get you on board. Can you give me this documentation? Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward. So this was like April-ish, 2021. Fast forward, summer of 2021. I'm moving up here, getting all my stuff moved up, getting the house sold, getting the family moved up here and everything like that. Finished that year up. A lot of stuff has been happening on the home front. I don't want to talk about it in specifics. Probably wait until next year. And moved out, started divorce proceedings, and here I am, 41, turning 42, not ready to be on my own, but I had to do it. 2022, April to August, I get shipped off across the country to do a resident training academy. They put me in charge of like half of my class. So I had to, follow these people, get them integrated into the system. Very similar structure to the organization I'd left. However, I just need to get certified in my new job, which is fine. And, I feel like I barely made it, and I think everyone does. So, had a really good time, met some amazing people who will be lifelong friends, got them going and everything like that. Shortly towards the end of the academy, I had the opportunity to apply for a promotion because I had to take a downgrade to move up here. So I applied, got interviewed in October. 2023 January was when I started as a supervisor again. That completely just kept me on life support. I mean, I was in rough shape mentally. I was in rough shape financially, and getting that just kind of helped keep me on life support till where I am now. So 2023, pretty good year. Just trying to reintegrate, trying to, get out there, start dating again, start focusing on what's important and getting rid of what isn't, de-stressing, decluttering my life. I still have episodes where, I'll just kind of like check out and shut down. I try to be consistent. I try to be good to the people around me. It doesn't always work out, but I think putting in a good effort is very important. So 2023, did a deployment down to El Paso. Not where I wanted to go. It was good. I had a good experience. It was a lot of fun. A couple things I was in were on national news. It was wild. It was interesting. And I would go home. I'd wake up super early, and I'd go home super tired. And pretty much it was just survival mode, getting that stuff done until I got back home. Summer, not too bad. Overall, just kind of made it. And then here I am in 2024, much of the same. So divorce is still not finalized as of now, but all the paperwork's filed, everything's done. Apparently it's just waiting for the judge's signature. And I'm really just kind of focusing on what the next step is. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'd say 2020 was definitely a lost year. 2021 was tough. Uncharted territory, existential life changes, just a lot of moving around. 2022, tough year. Very tough year. Lots of depression. Emotional difficulties. Where am I? How am I going to make it? How am I going to survive? 2023, leveling off, pulling up just a little bit. And I think around this time of year, it does get kind of rough. It does get to where I think about this stuff a lot, kind of reevaluate where I'm at, think about, where I've been, where I'm going, and it's just not easy. So I think what's important is, to understand, and I'm speaking to people who are going through this for themselves. I'm speaking to people who are just starting and are thinking the way I thought, that it's over. It's not. It's not over. You'll make it, I promise. And I hate to say it, but the effort you put in is what's going to get you to the potential that you have. It is not easy. There were days I would wake up crying, and the loneliness, the despair, the fatigue, just not even wanting to continue. And when my kids comes in, hey, we want to go do this, we want to go to lunch, we want to go to the park, and it's like, oh man, and rolling over, getting your weight underneath you. All right, let's get moving. And even if I'm there, just a vegetable watching them play, I made it that day, right? I may not be up running around and playing, but I was there physically. I think it's important for them to see that I don't give up. And that's a big reason why I don't. At this point, I think about 85% of my paycheck goes to my ex-wife. and I have to work overtime, I have to work night shifts, I have to do all these things just to maintain a like meager existence. But not a day has gone by in all the woe is me, all the I'm so tired, how can I keep going? There's not been a single day where I've looked back and regretted it and said, I want to go back. I want to get back into that situation. That was better than what I'm dealing with now, which is sad because I have some rough days. And, you know, here I am, I think, kind of on the tail end of pulling myself out of that, hopefully. I know that there's always going to be 2 steps forward and a step back. But I really think just accepting it, moving on, and improving where you can is so important to getting yourself back up and functional and living the potential that you have. Am I 100%? No. Will I ever be 100%? No. I've done these videos where I'm like, oh, I'm at like 80, I'm at 90%. No. Because, yes, I feel better than I felt a year ago, 6 months ago, so on and so forth. But I know I am not where I was or even close to before my stroke. I'm different. It's always going to be different. But I think accepting it, embracing it, and just leaning into that challenge is really what sets anybody apart from failing or being successful. You know, here I am right now. I'm on mile 3 of a 4-mile walk. I'm filming a YouTube. I'm able to speak. I'm able to walk. This phone that I'm carrying in my left hand doesn't feel like it weighs 40 pounds like it did right after, you know, the thing happened. I think it is so important. Don't give up. Lean into it. Push as hard as you can. If you're in that initial stage, that is all lost time. All of it. You're not going to do anything productive for the outside world. What you need to do is focus on yourself. It can be hard to do. A lot of us are not wired that way. Focus on yourself, not being sorry for yourself, but how do I improve? How can I lift this arm up and hold it steady? How can I walk straight? What changes do I need to do? Regain my balance, to be able to form words properly, to be able to think clearly, to understand when I'm not thinking clearly. I think just developing a self-awareness is key. I think, again, rising to the challenge, looking at it and say, I may not beat it, but I'm going to get as good as I possibly can and fulfill my potential is awesome. I would also say helping others is a good part of things too. One of the things I do at work is mentoring employees, career development, leadership development, resume reviews, and I think just giving direction, you know, taking that bright light they have and focusing it like a lens and utilizing it in a way that's good for them and good for the organization. I love doing that. I love seeing the look of accomplishment, of pride in these people as they go forth and accept a promotion, learn new things, become more proficient, and see the value that they have in themselves. It's probably like, you know, one of the most gratifying things I can experience. So I find myself lost in that a lot. I encourage anybody who's watching this to do the same. If you're light to other people, you'll find that the light inside you grows as well. It doesn't cost anything if you do it with the right mindset. So here's to 4 years. Here's to just keep on going, keep on pushing forward. And thank you for watching. I know 20 minutes is a long time. 25 minutes, ew. But thank you.